Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Kipo in the Age of Wonder Beast Season 3, Episode 8. And apparently we're going to prom, because Kipo has invited all of the humans on Amelia's boat to go to prom, and I don't know exactly what this means. I know what prom is, but I don't know the context of what this is going to mean for the characters or the series or whatnot. It seems like through speaking to them, though, Kipo was getting through to them and everything, especially after having learned the lesson from Dave's story. About basically the story was about how he met Benson. But there was definitely more to it than that. Gave us a lot of interesting depth on things with this entire post-apocalyptic world. So we see that after being, not really defeated per se, but being chased out after their initial invasion, Amelia and them went back to the boat. They're trying to escape, but Kipo is giving quick chase. After hearing the story, she abandons her idea of initially attacking them and decides to talk and, I guess, invite them to prom. As I said last time, there's really two ways this can go in terms of Amelia. She either flat out refuses this and it maybe even splits the party. Like maybe some of the humans go with Kipo, some remain with Amelia. Or the other main option is that Amelia goes along with it, but as a trick, as a way to get to them. Which I don't know if she did that, I don't know if anyone would believe her. That's the thing. Like, I doubt Kipo and Benson and Dave, and especially the ones who know her, like Leo and Song, I don't think people would believe that she would just, be turning over a new leaf and just accepting things or whatnot. So I don't know how that's going to go exactly with her, whether she's going to pretend to accept it or not. But I guess we'll see. I mean, we do know that Kipo is immune now, and that's a big deal. I wonder if there's some way for Leo and Song to use that to immunize everyone from being affected by the cure. Like using that as part of the God, what is it called? I can't think of the word. They've said it in the show, I just can't think of it. But using it, like, the same way that Amelia used her DNA to make the cure, which is why Kipo's immune to it, what if they could somehow use her DNA to also make the solution to the cure? Is that possible, I wonder? Maybe we'll see. But yeah, this is getting really interesting, and considering we're nearing the end of the season and the series, I feel like this episode's not going to go entirely well. I feel like it can't. And obviously, I'm just going to say right now, I could have waited to the afterthoughts, but I'm saying it now. Obviously, I will be reacting to 9 and 10 together to finish off the series. But that'll be next week. For now, we are doing episode 8. And I'm excited. I'm still sad to be getting to the end of this series, but I'm still excited that we're reaching this point nonetheless. We're reaching the true climax of this season, and there might be more casualties. I don't know. It's possible. We already had quite a lot when Amelia and them invaded in the first place. So it's like, honestly, at this point, there could still be more, but I'm almost hoping that there isn't. I'm almost hoping that that was kind of the last batch, and that's why they did that. That's why they made it so impactful by having so many characters we knew and liked be cured. I'm still wondering, like, can that actually be reversed? Like, Leo and Song are trying to make a way to immunize you against being cured, but can it actually reverse the process? I'm thinking probably not. Because again, I don't think it's going to, like I said before in previous reactions, I don't think it's going to be like with what happened to Song. Song was a special case where she was a human who was mutated into the mega monkey. It's not the same as a animal who was mutated into just a bigger animal. And plus, this is like you're trying to reverse a demutation, which I don't know if that would even be possible. I don't think it would be. Because basically at that point, wouldn't you basically have to just remutate them? And there could be a lot of issues that would come with that, and they might not even be the same or have the same sentience. It's a much different situation. So, yeah. Either way, I'm very interested to see how this prom goes. So, let's find out. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I was right. And I can't really say I'm excited that I was right. Even though it was, I feel, the most obvious situation that could come from that. The fact that Amelia is tricking them and only planning on going in order to fight against them still is just honestly proof that there are some people that you just can't change. And I really hope that that continues to be the case as we go through the finale. Because that's an important lesson that a lot of shows just honestly kind of refuse to acknowledge. And I feel like one of the biggest examples of that is Steven Universe. Steven Universe refused to kind of really go in that direction and forced redemptions on certain characters, namely the Diamonds, that felt, well, namely White Diamond specifically, I guess, that felt honestly, like I said, really forced and just unbelievable. And you could say it for other characters in it too, but at the end of the day, it's like Steven Universe went too heavy with trying to redeem everyone. This series just tried to make it seem like basically that with kindness and enough effort that and everyone has the propensity for change. And while I like the idea behind that, and I even agree that if someone has the willingness to change, you should give them that opportunity, they have to be actively willing to change, and that to be beyond doubt before that, I feel, can be done. And there are just some people who can't get to that point. And if you try to force it in a series like this, and whether animated or not, really, it ends up feeling completely fake and unrealistic. And that's what it did with Steven Universe. Even MLP, for as much as redemption arcs were definitely a thing with that series, even MLP, Friendship is Magic specifically, even they had certain characters who just could not be redeemed and ended up having to be encased in stone for eternity. Chrysalis, Tyrek, and Cozy Glow could not be redeemed. And the show understood that, and the writers understood that, and so they made it so that they weren't. While certain characters like Discord or Starlight or whoever were redeemed, some couldn't be. Even a show like My Little Pony that is directly targeted towards a younger audience, even that show understood that. And even though, yeah, obviously MLP had a lot of nods to the adults who were watching and definitely understood their large adult audience, it was still targeted towards children. It was, especially young girls, just because that's what Hasbro wanted. And the difference is Steven Universe always had a much wider audience in mind. And with its heavy topics and deeper ideas and everything, honestly, Steven Universe should have been more capable of displaying that message to a much greater scale. I know Steven Universe has been over for a while, and I know it's kind of just like poking a dead horse at this point, but I really think that the diamonds, at least White Diamond, shouldn't have been redeemed. And as harsh as it sounds, the probably only other option would be shattering. And I think the same thing for characters like Jasper. I don't think Jasper's redemption made any sense, and I don't think it was realistic for her character. I mean, there's a lot of other characters where it's like, yeah, if their redemption, great. Even Blue Diamond and Yellow Diamond, I can acknowledge that one, because they always showed that propensity for change. White Diamond was always the one who didn't. And then suddenly she just did. It just happened, basically. It was terribly handled. And Spinel, obviously I'm fine with Spinel being like that, because that was like literally what her character was made to happen. How her character was made to work. She was always supposed to be this tragic character who was who felt betrayed and only became quote-unquote evil because of that. And yeah, I mean, technically you could say there was maybe a few minor villains who weren't technically redeemed, but they just kind of disappeared and never really were seen again, so they don't really count, because they didn't have any kind of conclusion to their arcs. They were just kind of ignored, basically. So I'm not even really counting them. All the actual, like, you get the point. Either way, I'm bringing all that up and everything because with this, I don't want Amelia to get redeemed. I think Amelia's beyond redemption. I think just her entire thing about her entire plan here about literally mutating one of them into a mega mute just to be able to fight Kipo is a sign of that. Like, she's so absolutely crazy that she's willing to turn one of her remaining members, which is basically just her, Greta, and Doge at this point, or Hogue rather, at this point, into a mega mute to fight Kipo. And just because she has the cure and everything, she thinks that it's going to be that simple. That it's going to be like, oh, I'll be cured anyway, or Hogue or Greta, whoever ends up taking. I don't know which of those three will, but that seems to just generally be the idea. And it's like, this is not going to go well. And again, I don't think Amelia should be redeemed. Not only that, I don't think she can be. At this point, I think this series needs to really dive into that. This series has had a lot of mature discussions on this kind of stuff, on good versus evil, right versus wrong, and stuff. And I really think it needs to stick the landing here. And that's really something that needs to be handled properly. Again, some people can't just be saved. Some people can't just be redeemed. Some people are bad. And even if it's because of the influences around them that made them so, the point of the matter is that that's just how they are now. Trying to redeem or save everyone is not foolish by any means, but it's a dream. And like Kipo, like, I understand her dream. And I understand why she doesn't want to fight Amelia anymore. After her anger almost consumed her and everything, she's afraid of that happening again. She wants to resolve this peacefully because she understands that that's a better option. The only problem is, while that would work with almost everyone else, it's not going to work with Amelia. And that's what Kipo's not getting, and that's why I kind of agree with Scarlemagne and Wolf here. I don't think Scarlemagne should be going out and trying to do this alone. No, I think that's really stupid. But I do think that something needs to be done. I mean, hell, even if they just had some people trained on Amelia at all times while she was there, that would have been fine. I don't think that Scarlemagne necessarily need to go out and try to take her out ahead of time. But even like when she came here for the prom and everything, like, even if they had their eyes trained on her, even a weapon or two trained on her at all times, I think that would have been acceptable. That would have been the right way to handle it. But that would be the least way as well. I don't necessarily agree that Scarlemagne should go alone, but the fact that he wants to go and take care of it ahead of time is probably still smart. And I really want to make it clear, I'm not trying to like advocate for just attacking people like in real life, just out of nowhere and stuff. But again, it's like there's some people who are so actively dangerous and deadly and unable to be redeemed that you can't just sit by and let things happen. And you can't just try to accept their statements on things like this, especially when it comes out of nowhere and everything they've said beforehand has been contradictory to that. It's too dangerous, and it puts others' lives at risk. It's great that Kipo wants to think the best of everyone and wants to give everyone a chance, but by trying to do things the way she's been trying to do things with Amelia in this episode, she's putting other people's lives at risk. Both humans and mutes. And I'm sorry, but that's not acceptable. So I really hope that this does end with Amelia needing to be taken out. I don't think there's any other reasonable way to do this, honestly. Trying to redeem her at this point would feel forced and just unrealistic, and would hurt the overall quality of the show. It wouldn't. I don't think it would kill it, but it would definitely hurt things. But we'll see how it goes as we get into the final 2 episodes next time. In the meantime, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts? We only have 2 more to go in the series, and then it's over, and that sucks. But it's been a great ride, and I'm very happy to have gone along with it. So, thank you all so much for tuning in, and for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.